Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Ryal is here. This is the Finance Roll Show. Today we're doing something a little bit special, a little bit different. I got my buddy on, Ryal, the founder and CEO of DVS and Company. Basically, they are a design and media shop. They can handle everything design and media for your individual needs, for your small business needs, and even your big time corporate needs. They actually have a couple of big time corporate clients. I think Kyron hasn't had me sign NDA yet, so I can't say nothing because he might sue me. But I know some of his big time clients are, and they are indeed big. But Kyron, just like most small business owners that I know, was having a hard time with his books, with his QuickBooks. And so he hit me up, called in a favor. I think I owed him a favor anyway. So I'm just returning the grace he's extended me before in the past and helped him out with getting some books online. So as we were talking, he was asking me some questions about QuickBooks, about bookkeeping overall. And I thought this would be a good time to just talk about bookkeeping, because this is the thing nobody wants to talk about in business, right? Everybody wants to talk about all the flash, popping their collars, buying properties for their kids, but nobody wants to talk about the dirty stuff, right? This is the stuff that actually keeps you wealthy. It's the bookkeeping. This is the stuff. This is actually the glue that keeps your business together. This is, I don't want to call it the engine, right? Because sales and marketing is the engine, but this is like the refrigerator when you go shopping, where you keep all the food and keep the food fresh so you can pull it back out and be able to partake and eat of it. So say hello to everybody, Kyron.
What's going on, everybody?
Now he wants to be mild-mannered and smooth. So, Kyron, I don't feel like I gave your business its proper due. So tell everybody what you do.
So I run DVS and Company, and we are basically a creative coalition. We work in every area of creativity and design. From building websites, we do graphic design work, we build out logos, we shoot commercials, we shoot regular content, we do photography, screen printing, direct-to-garment printing. Man.
Y'all do a lot.
Yeah, we handle a lot under the umbrella.
Okay. So I know we were supposed to connect for a while now. And I know you've been trying to get, things together for the business so they run smoother. Why is that important to you?
There's a few reasons it's important for me. One, I have this desire to build this thing as big as I can, take it as far as it'll go. There aren't many creative agencies owned and operated and that employ us.
So us, when you say us, who's us?
African Americans, Black folks, whatever you want to call us.
Okay. Well, not whatever you want to call us now.
Not whatever you want to call us.
Okay.
And that is something that we take very seriously. 85 to 95% of the creatives who work on projects for us are Black.
Gotcha. And so why now? Why are you thinking about your books now? Because we've been talking about your books for a minute. And, and I know I got busy, but you was ducking me a little bit.
A little bit. I was.
And listen, we cool enough to be honest about that, right? So, I mean, why now? Why get your stuff together now?
One of the main reasons is so DVS and Company wasn't always DVS and Company. It was, once upon a time, it was just a photography company called DVS Photography. Okay. So I officially changed the name of the LLC maybe December 2019 and started operating under DVS and Company. So since I started to do that, I started to become a bit more serious about keeping track of my finances. I guess what really made me like kind of track you down for this was I did my taxes myself.
Okay, so
Something I don't
kind of my fault, right? Because I got busy. We didn't connect, and you had to do it yourself. So I gotta own that.
But after I did that, they actually gave me a free QuickBooks thing. So I was like, all right, cool, yeah, I'll set it up.
Okay.
And it set itself up and didn't fully do everything that it needed to do.
Okay.
And then I had to go in and make and like designate things, whether it was business or personal. And there's another thing called split. I'm guessing that's a combination of business and personal. But yeah.
All right. So let's start from the top, right? What exactly is bookkeeping, right? Bookkeeping is basically just the way you go about and organize and categorize all your financial affairs, right? What money you have coming into the business, how you made that money coming into the business, and what money goes out of the business, right? I see a lot of small business owners jam themselves up because when they put money into the business themselves out of their personal pockets, they usually miscategorize it. And sometimes it gets categorized as sales, which makes them potentially owe more money in taxes, right? But the money that you put in from your business is an owner's contribution or a form of equity contribution, and you shouldn't have to pay tax. You shouldn't pay tax on that at all. But a lot of times, again, because people don't know no better, everybody finds accounting and bookkeeping boring, right? Talk about a snooze fest or put somebody to sleep real quick and have them drooling out of the side of their mouth. Let's talk about bookkeeping. So again, like I said, it's that dirty thing. Nobody really finds it exciting. So, but you gotta be mindful of how you categorize, again, the money that's coming into your business and the money that's going out. All right. And then so them giving you all the categorizations, like we looked at one, because one thing I see a lot of small business owners do is they commingle their funds, meaning that they pay for personal things out of their business account, and they shouldn't do that. However, if you do it, if you have proper bookkeeping, you'll be able to identify it and tag it properly, whereas that won't be a problem for you when it comes for tax time. Or I have a lot of clients right now going for mortgages, and it can be identified properly that way. So what else drove you to get your books together?
I realize how important it is to actually be able to grow and sustain a business, to have good books.
I see you cheesing over there. Why are you cheesing, man?
Because it's not that I don't think the process, it might not necessarily be boring. I think the process for a lot of us is scary, because it's one of those things where we have to face ourselves, and we might have bad spending habits. And if you have bad spending habits personally, sometimes that might extend over into your business. So a lot of times we might just not want to face ourselves when it comes to this. Like, I know me personally, I don't actually want to do the stuff myself. I wholeheartedly prefer to bring somebody on the team and just, that's their job.
But as the founder, as the CEO, as the president, you do understand you need to have an understanding of it, right?
Yeah.
So like I think social media is like the ultimate cap up these days, right? By the way, the homegirl just showed up. You know her.
Hey, we got Swan in the building.
We got Swan in the building. Hey, lady, how you doing? But a lot of these social media memes will say things like, hire a professional to do it. And I'm all for hiring a professional. You should. However, with you being the person that is on top of everything, you should at least have an understanding. Doesn't mean you have to be the best at it or do it, but you should at least understand it. So I think you got to have, as business owners, some of the things to really understand and run a business is you got to understand marketing. You got to understand selling because they're different. You got to understand accounting, or at least the purpose of accounting and how it should go. Because when you don't understand that, you can wind up owing a lot of money or spending a lot of money that you wouldn't necessarily have to do if you just had a basic understanding. Again, I ain't asking you to have a PhD in accounting, but you should at least have an understanding of what's supposed to happen.
Word. I agree.
Yeah. So what about it scares you?
The fact that if you don't do it right, you can owe a lot of money. That's scary.
Gotcha.
The tax man is scary.
The tax man. Why is the tax man scary to you?
I've heard horror stories. Like,
give me one.
So people being locked up for tax evasion, or like people owing so much taxes that they can't necessarily pay for it in their business, and they might have to, like, people shutting down their businesses over stuff like that, over taxes or whatnot, and still owing those taxes.
Right. I mean, so the IRS was, and still is to some degree, but back in the day, they were very much abusive. There were a lot of cases that they were abusive, and they overstepped their boundaries. Since then, there's been a lot of reform and things have changed. Doesn't mean that somebody doesn't overstep their bounds, but it's not like it used to be many years ago, right? So they have a whole rule book on how they're supposed to conduct themselves. There's other systems and processes to keep that back. And you said people go to jail. It really takes a lot for a taxpayer to go to jail when they owe taxes. Like, so don't pay attention to these commercials. They're basically scaring people to do things. And listen, you're supposed to take it seriously, right? But advertisers understand that people are not moved by logic. They're moved by their emotions. What are you saying?
Fear moves people.
Right. They're moved by fear. And I don't really like fear mongering, but it is real. I do get on here from time to time and joke around, and I'll talk about, Fat Joe or Lauryn Hill or Wesley Snipes. Where Fat Joe, his accountant, did some things that I think he did about 4 or 5 months. I think Lauryn did a bit longer. And Wesley's people, they just didn't want to pay taxes at all. So his was the most egregious, and it went for a long time. Like he was getting mail for a long time, for years and years and years and years. So his stuff was really egregious. But for your average person, your average everyday person who's just trying to, live their best life, follow the rules, file their taxes on time, they typically don't have any problems. Typically. So the IRS puts, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like all the rest of us human beings. There's nothing really to be afraid of. Hey, Shauna, that's my other tax lady right there, Miss Collins. So you got your books in order now. Well, you're starting to get your books in order now. So we worked on today getting your transactions in, right? So you were a little frustrated about your transactions.
Yeah. So when I downloaded them from my bank, they downloaded as PDFs. And when I went into QuickBooks to upload them, QuickBooks says they only accept CSV files. So I spent some time in Google Sheets attempting to
Oh, you did that in Google Sheets?
I tried to do it in Google Sheets. I tried to open it in Adobe Acrobat, and then put it in Sheets. I made a CSV file. When I uploaded that CSV file, that didn't give me anywhere close to all of my transactions.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that was pretty frustrating.
So when I got your PDF files and I turned them around for you, what did you like about it then? Because you made a statement about it. I was shocked, but
it was.
you made a comment.
It was perfect. Like it, and it was quick.
Right.
So what took me, and I'm computer savvy, right? Like I do digital work. So I know my way around a computer, around a spreadsheet. But this was it took me, I was in here for hours trying to figure out how to convert the statement because the statement came like a statement, like something that you would print out. How to convert that into the columns that it would need to be in to be a CSV file, and I just couldn't.
Couldn't get it.
It makes sense.
Got it.
And it took hours to try to figure out how to do it and it still not work. But I gave it to you and you did it in like 20 minutes.
Thank you, Shauna, but I am not the QuickBooks king. I am not. I don't.
You might be.
No, there's some folks out there that run circles around me. But I think it's really interesting, right? So we think about what's happening right now with COVID and all the PPP money and the idle money that's out there that was coming. Initially, a lot of businesses were complaining that they could not get PPP money. But guess what most of them had or didn't have? They didn't have good books. A lot of the folks that got denied or that couldn't get through and couldn't do it at first because it was a lot harder at first, they didn't have good books. They didn't have good books at all. Hey Kelly, how you doing? But now, I was able to work with a few, and their stuff went through lickety split, and they also relaxed some of the standards. But I think that the situation of PPP money, I think it showed a lot of people the importance of having good books if you are serious about being a business owner. I mean, again, I think social makes it look glamorous and look fun, but when you need to produce books, you have to do it on a regular basis. All right, so what's your plan now? You got your books and you got your first 6 months in. So what's the next steps?
Next I'm going to categorize everything.
Okay. Are you confident to do that? You feel confident?
Pretty confident. Yeah.
Okay.
I think after I'm done categorizing, though, we'll probably be on the phone again.
All right. Well, let's do this. Throw out a couple. I mean, I don't want to share your screen because this is public, but throw out a couple of transactions. Don't give any names or anything like that, and let me see if I can help you, give you kind of a guideline or a rubric on how to categorize them.
So I have like insurance payments coming out of this account.
All right. So first question.
Mm-hmm.
What you should know what my first question is going to be. What's my first question going to be?
Is it for the business?
Is it for the business or is it personal?
Both of them are for the business.
Okay. All right. So how do you think you would categorize that?
As business.
All right, as business, and then the category should be insurance.
Okay.
Now, what I do sometimes with some of my clients' books, if they have different lines of insurance, I will create subcategories of insurance. So, for example, for your business, because you do media and photography, so you probably have liability and I don't know. I can't think of any other insurance you might have. You probably get to pay insurance when you rent equipment as well.
Yes.
So I might have an equipment insurance subcategory, and I might have an overall general liability category. So when I go back and I review my records and pull reports, I can see exactly how much I'm spending on equipment insurance. I can see exactly how much I'm spending on liability insurance. Now, people always talk about the benefits of bookkeeping to reduce taxes. It's also a great way to manage your business and to potentially help you lower costs. Because let's say at the end of the year, you spent $5,000 on liability insurance. And again, that's just a hypothetical.
Right.
And you're like, man, that's a lot of money. Let me see if I can find something cheaper than $500. So now it's kind of giving you a guideline of what you want to do. It's like, all right, I want to be below $500 a month, $5,000 a year, so I can get better rates on my insurance.
Got you. Okay.
All right, so give me another one.
So there's a lot of.
You're too kind, Shauna. You're too kind. Thank you, though.
I have one place that I use for invoicing to create my proposals to go out to clients and stuff.
It's software.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And that bill that's a recurring bill. Like that comes out every month.
$25 a month or less.
A little bit more. A little bit.
All right.
32.
So how clearly it's a business expense.
Right.
How would you categorize it?
Maybe as I guess it's software.
Yeah. So usually what that would be is office expense, and so depending on how you do it, you could have you'll see like office expense and software. If you use a lot of different softwares, again, you might want to break that out into subcategories.
Got you.
And just so you can keep track of each one. I mean, like, I know I'm guilty of this, right? I've got trial subscriptions up the wazoo, and then I forget to unsubscribe to the trial, and then it'll just hit my bank account. Yeah. So now I put them on my calendar to remind me to unsubscribe. So,
yeah, I think you might be the person who told me to do that.
Yeah, because they was hitting me hard. Be like, what is this for?
So also, another question. I use Square, and I have all of my team. They all are employees or teammates in Square. So I run everybody bread, like I pay everybody. So how would we consider those transactions? And before I had them do it in Square, I wrote everybody like this since January or like December. I've been writing everybody checks.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. And a lot of small business owners get this piece wrong. Are they employees or independent contractors? Do you give them a 1099 or W-2?
1099s.
Okay, so you have them as independent contractors.
Yes.
Right. You said employees initially, and you know, I understand, but I do want to make this distinction. And probably in your circumstance, you're fine. Most people, when they start to employ people, they try to put everybody as 1099 as an independent contractor, right? And please stop saying 1099 employee. There is no such thing as a 1099 employee, but they're 1099 independent contractors. Now, there's like 3 different tests. I can't think of them all off the top of my head that the IRS will say, and the Department of Labor will say that this person is either an independent contractor or an employee. So they want to know if you set the person's time or if they set their own time to do their work, right? They want to know if they, let's say they use their own labor or they direct their own hours. Do they direct their own hours? I think I just said that, right? So I'm being redundant right now. So time or hours, right? I always check myself, right? So time, right? Who controls their time? Is it you or is it the contractor, right? In your instance, I'm guessing it's probably them.
Yeah.
Like if they want to work on graphics or if they want to do video editing or whatever, they're doing that at 5 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the only parameter that I'll set is like when the project is due.
Right. And so, you know, that's one that's crucial as well. Let me look up the other one, because I see people that have this problem all the time and they think everybody's just an independent contractor.
I can't wait to hire my first employee. I know exactly what type of person is going to be.
And the reason why many small business owners want to list everybody as an independent contractor, because they feel that they're going to save money. Because when you have employees, you have to pay part of their Social Security tax, and you have to pay part of their FICA tax. And so they feel it's going to be extra expensive. It really isn't. I mean, it's more, but it's not that much more, especially when you look at the fines that are associated when you misclassify an independent contractor as an employee. I've been through several of those audits, and they are not fun at all. Right. So who gives instruction, right? Are you instructing the person to do the work, or do they already know how to do it?
Oh, they definitely know how to do it.
Right. Financial control, right? So if your boss is paying you, right, and they're collecting money from whoever, however they're making money, it's important. And the permanency of the relationship. So they mean, like, is this an ongoing thing? Do you do it time in and time out? But you have to think about that, because most times, at least in my experience, most of these people be employees and they're not independent contractors. But again, people don't want to pay the money for payroll processing, and they don't want to pay the extra tax on top of it. So just be careful of that. Be careful of that.
Word.
All right. All right. Give me a couple other transactions, and we can wrap up. I know nobody wants to hear about bookkeeping all night. But listen, if anybody has bookkeeping questions that's watching, feel free to throw them in the chat.
So for those come out as business, right?
Well, it all should be business, right? But
right. Yeah,
you would list them, right? You would categorize them.
Contract labor.
Say that again.
Contract labor.
You could do contract labor, or you could do there's another one, just as a labor cost. Okay. All right, Kelly, what's your question? Throw it in there. You got to tell us your business, the name of your business, what you do. I'm interested to see what you do. What other transactions? So yeah, you can create a labor category if you don't have one already.
All right. What about my my ride shares? Travel expense?
You got it. You the man. You ready to become an accountant now? You can take my job.
Absolutely.
You know, I've been dabbling with the camera a little bit. I don't know. I don't think nobody wants to pay me to shoot their wedding though.
Yeah, those are pretty much like that is the bulk of my financial life as a business owner.
Well, I don't know if I should say this, but I know you also have rent.
Yeah, studio rent.
Right.
Studio rent, and
you want to make sure you categorize that properly as well.
Right, studio rent and the office rents.
Yep. And so remember, what the IRS deems as an expense is something that's ordinary and necessary. Again, ordinary and necessary to your business.
Got you. How do I change a category? Oh, you know what? I remember where.
Right. Sometimes you have to add it.
Yeah, there's a place called Add Rule.
Oh, Kelly, you like to talk about bookkeeping. Kelly, are you a bookkeeper? Are you an accountant? Are you in the tax group with me? I don't know. We've officially met yet, Kelly. So then that's cool then. Kelly likes to talk about bookkeeping.
Oh,
She's a special kind of lady. She's like me. She's one of those financial nerds. So any other transactions you got questions about?
I think that is it.
Okay. All right, Kelly. I didn't mean to get you confused. I know there's a difference. Kelly's an accountant. She's not a bookkeeper.
Oh. Well, what's the difference in that?
So accountants can. Oh, you're Kelly from IG. Okay, I didn't know that, Kelly. All right, cool. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So bookkeepers usually do kind of the baseline of the data entry into it, and I'm not trying to disparage any bookkeepers because they're definitely vital, but they typically get the transactions and into your bookkeeping system. I use QuickBooks. There's a few other systems out there, but QuickBooks is probably the most popular at this point. And accountants tend to create the system that you follow, and they create what's called the chart of accounts. And the bookkeeper usually follows that chart of account. The chart of accounts, and the chart of accounts basically gives you a listing of everything. So what we kind of just went over was a miniature chart of account creation, kind of, sort of.
Okay. Last thing, QuickBooks gave me a account as self-employed.
Yeah.
I know, when I showed you my account earlier, you said that you probably would have done it a different way. I'm gonna reach out to QuickBooks and see if I can have them change the account. What should we be?
Well, we can talk about that offline. What I was going to say was, I could probably give you. I'm a QuickBooks wholesaler or an Intuit wholesaler, so I could probably get you better pricing, and
Okay.
I probably would use Essential.
Okay.
I think Essential is like the baseline one that will give you the most bang for your buck. I don't like self-employed. Self-employed is cool, but I don't really like self-employed because it doesn't give you as much control.
Got you. Okay.
And again, that could just be me nerding out. You don't need it. I'm glad you have what you have. So, rock with that for a little while. Stay consistent. You got your bank account linked to it, right? Stay consistent. I would look at updating your transactions once a week, maybe twice a month, just stay on top of it.
Okay.
Ideally, right? I am like severely behind in my own personal bookkeeping right now, but I'll get it together real quick.
All right. Good.
Yep. So, hey, man, well, listen, any other questions you got? Thank you for coming on. I wanted to get you on because, again, nobody thinks about bookkeeping. Everybody's talking about getting to the bag, starting a business, generational wealth. But again, nobody's really talking about the nitty gritty stuff, the boring stuff. So I appreciate you coming on, being transparent, talking about getting your stuff up to speed, because other people need to get their stuff up to speed too. You don't realize just how many opportunities you're going to miss by having trash books or having trashy bookkeeping.
Word.
So, all right, Kelly. So Kelly's in there for sure. All right, so you're going to open a book. All right, so Kelly, I got to have you on. We got to talk about that. We got to promote that. Yeah. And I guess you don't want to do full-fledged accounting, so you just only want to offer bookkeeping and keep it moving. So I get it. But yeah, Kelly, I would love to have you on.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Oh, and you work for a real estate company. Oh, we can get on and talk about bookkeeping for real estate investors.
Oh, yeah. Y'all should do that soon. I need that.
Yeah. Some of the shenanigans I see within the real estate investing space is mind-boggling. But, again, everybody is following the newest, latest real estate investing guru. So, who knows? All right, Kelly, send me, I don't know if we're personal friends on Facebook. Send me a personal invite. Let's chat. Let's do it. Let's do it sooner than later. All right, Kyron, again, I appreciate you coming on, man, and just sharing this. All right, if everybody watching, if you know anybody that's thinking about starting a business or that's in a business and they need help with doing books, share this with them. Maybe it might help them. Or if somebody's thinking about starting a business, share this with them as well, because this is something they should definitely be thinking about. It's probably one of the most important things they should be thinking about when it comes to doing their business. All right. So everybody have a great day. I may or may not come back later. There's plenty to talk about, but you all have a great night, and I will talk to you all soon. Everybody be well and have a great day.
Night, y'all.